Am I crazy? This is the question people most often ask me. Not whether there's something wrong with me medically, but if I'm actually crazy. And usually, almost every time, the answer is no, you are not crazy, but you might have been traumatized. And that's how it actually results in your body. And those two things can get confused quite easily for everyone who is unaware of the trauma symptoms. But why this question actually comes up? To ask yourself if you are crazy. When the internal experience you are feeling around a certain situation doesn't match what is actually happening. Everyone might be thinking that you are overreacting for whatever just happened, but from inside, you don't feel like it's overreaction. You don't necessarily know what happens. You are being flooded with emotions. They are hard to describe, name, or even to random to realize what's happening. Your body turns into a state you don't fully understand, like your heart is racing and your hands are sweating. And when nobody around you is able to validate your internal reality and no one is able to do this for you, you might be wondering to yourself, am I actually crazy or is there something wrong with me? The question is not if you are crazy, but what happens to your nervous system that you actually had resulted in certain behavior for a stimuli which wasn't asking for so much explosion. There are signs which say that this is actually trauma and that you are not crazy. I try to map 5 points for you to try to understand each in order to understand your behavior. You can start with seeing whether this is triggered and not just a random behavior. If being crazy implies that there is a chaos with no cause, trauma response has a cause. The cause can be very insignificant, like a tone of voice, a smell, or a specific kind of silence, but it always leads back to something in your past. It's not random, it's a reaction to the source code in your being which you haven't traced just yet. Another thing is that your body usually reacts before your mind does. You might start feeling some cramps in your stomach or tightness in your shoulders, or your voice might be changing. Those are very difficult to firstly understand with your conscious thinking because your body works on a different threat alert system than your conscious brain. Your nervous system has to protect rather than think of your best cognitive way of explaining your reality. Something inside you knows that your response doesn't make sense, and your awareness of it is a proof that it's not craziness but rather a symptom of a previous maltreatment. This is where often what people miss is that if you are losing touch with your reality and you wouldn't be questioning yourself, if you know that this reaction is too big for the situation, that means that you are reality testing this and you are able to understand the concept of what the situation is versus what should be the natural response to it. That means you are not just crazy, but the fact that your nervous system learned a different way to responding to a problem than the one you would like to act out. It showed up in patterns, not in chaos. Trauma makes you feel very susceptible to threat. The same kind which actually triggered it in the first place. The same kind of situation, the same kind of internal sequence, the chest tightening, the blanks in your mind, the fact that you are either shutting down or you snap. This chaos has no pattern. Trauma does. And the pattern means that there is a cause to it. If there is a certain type of situation which is causing your body to react in a certain way, that means that there is a reason for it. And for you to understand the reason will bring your life to a safer journey. Another one, and the last one from this checklist, is quite controversial because when the life gets quieter, you start to experience safety. Your nervous system is able to relax, and that means that you're starting feeling safe, and your symptoms might simply diminish or stop appearing altogether. It's often happening that whenever we have actually trauma, the safety might be triggering for us the symptoms of threat. We were not used to the safety during our upbringing, so now sometimes the safety brings in us the feeling of threat. So that's why we sometimes keep ourselves super busy and get overutilized with whatever the life thrown at us, just because we are afraid of the safety mechanism. If you want to reframe this and start feeling about your life a little bit more in control and own what you feel, there is a very easy way for you to reframe the experience you're having. So, implying that you are crazy builds in you shame and that there's something fundamentally wrong with you, and there is no explanation around this, and this is how you are. And this does not lead you to closure or to healing. In trauma world, that means that something happens to you and that there is a reason for why you're acting in a certain way. Why are you snapping so quickly? Why are you jumping to conclusions? Your nervous system needed to adapt in order to survive at the time this mechanism has been built. This adaptation is still running, and it's not broken, it's just the way how your body adapted to life. And today it's outdated. And due to neuroplasticity, you can adapt this. If you're gonna ask yourself, how can I improve it and what's actually happening in my nervous system that I'm acting this way, you are not using shame to understand your mechanism, but curiosity. And curiosity eases your nervous system. And this is not a small distinction. It's a difference between there is no hope for me versus there is a reason for that, and the reasons can be worked with. So the next time somewhere in your mind a question comes up, am I crazy? Why did I react this way? Instead of asking this, try to reframe it and go into what has happened just now to make me behave in this way, and what has happened in the past that had generalized this mechanism in my system, that this is how I am today. If you want to understand more about the patterns of what is happening within you, you can go and watch some of my videos in regards to your threat mechanism or the window of tolerance. I hope this was helpful and you will be feeling good today. See you in the next one.